The following is an Auburn Network production.
The Tigers are SEC champions and 12-0 for the first time since 1989. The Tigers can claim themselves the best in the best conference in the nation. 38-28, Auburn over Tennessee. War Eagle, everybody. The Tigers have gone 12-0.
The 38-28 victory over Tennessee in the SEC championship game in Atlanta was the perfect punctuation mark on an incredible season. After becoming only the second team in school history to go 11-0 in the regular season, this remarkable team took it one step further, becoming the first team in Auburn history to win 12 games. It had been a long, hard-fought season en route to this Southeastern Conference contest. But despite the odds, it had been a perfect season. From the grueling preseason practices and through each game, these fighting soldiers in orange and blue matured athletically and spiritually. And the result was a championship team.
All those 10 years I've dreamed about having the opportunity to win, the SEC championship. I never dreamed it would be a perfect season along with it. So it was Christmas come early for me and our staff, and hopefully for our entire athletic department, our university, and the Auburn family.
This is the story of fighting soldiers, the undefeated 2004 SEC champion Auburn Tigers. The 2004 season began with much anticipation and many questions. During the preseason, perhaps the biggest question surrounded the Auburn offense and whether a new offensive coordinator, Al Borges, could turn the Tiger offense around.
My first instincts was not to fix anything that wasn't broken. Auburn had run the football pretty well, not just last year, but previous years. So other than a couple of subtle things, very little change in the running game. The biggest thing I think that I wanted to change, or we actually changed together, was the efficiency of the passing game. That was number one.
There were some certainties, however, including some players who could have taken the leap to the NFL, but instead decided to return for their senior seasons.
It was just great to see these guys make a decision that was very unselfish. It was not only for themselves, but for their teammates, because the feelings go very deep on this football team.
And there was another senior who felt he had something to prove. Quarterback Jason Campbell. In the season opener against Louisiana Monroe at Jordan-Hare Stadium, Campbell would set the tone for the rest of the season, going 11 for 18 for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. But it would be the Auburn defense that made the first statement of the season opener.
They'll hand it off to Payne, and the ball is loose. Ball is loose, still on the ground to the 30. Auburn's got it. Junior Rosegreen finally fell on it. It got kicked around in the pile once it got down on the ground, but someone stripped it out of Payne's arms. It bounced around, and Rosegreen fell on it at the 30, and the Tigers have great field position on their first possession.
With terrific field position at the Louisiana Monroe 30, the Tiger offense would turn it over to the Cadillac.
Brown at fullback, Williams at the tail. Now Campbell drops back to throw for the first time. Dumps it underneath for Carnell. 10, 5, touchdown, Tigers! Carnell Williams. No one touched him.
It was Carnell's first career touchdown reception, which punctuated a 103-yard rushing performance for the day. Auburn had scored on its first 3 possessions. fans were getting a pretty good idea of what an Al Borges offense was all about.
It's the snap. Here comes pressure from his left. Throws it for the end zone, wide open. Aramashadu, touchdown Auburn! Devin Aramashadu in the back of the end zone.
As excited as Auburn fans were with the new Tiger offense, the defense also gave the Auburn faithful reason to be optimistic. Auburn shut out the Indians 31-0. An impressive win, but a quick entry into the SEC awaited. On the road at Mississippi State, the Tigers would have to prove quickly that they were for real. The Bulldogs, under first-year head coach Sylvester Croom, would be up for this one, but so were the Tigers. Auburn put on an even more impressive offensive and defensive performance than the one against Louisiana Monroe. A week earlier, the defense made the first statement of the day. This time around, it would be the offense.
Hand off to Ronnie Brown, to the 30, to the 25, lowers his head across the 20, into the red zone, down at the 18, Ronnie Brown, 20 yards, and another Auburn first down.
The Tigers, moving the ball at will, quickly got on the board.
Campbell will take a couple steps closer to Jason. Short drop for Campbell across the middle, in the end zone, Anthony Mix, touchdown Auburn!
With a 7-0 lead to work with, the defense wasted little time. Trying to put together their first sustained drive of the day, Mississippi State moved the ball into Auburn territory early in the second quarter. But senior defensive end Jay Ratliff came up with a big play.
Bring them all pretty close to the line of scrimmage. Counter to throw here on third down. The ball is knocked loose. Ball on the ground. I think Mississippi State got it back inside their own territory near the 45-yard line.
Getting a steady dose of Ronnie Brown and Carnell Williams, along with a 25-yard touchdown from Jason Campbell to Ben Obumanu, Auburn led 21-0 at the half and would go on to win the game impressively, 43-14. Jason Campbell set a career high with 3 touchdown passes, while running backs Carnell Williams and Ronnie Brown rushed for 122 yards and 147 yards, respectively. Auburn's defense held Mississippi State to less than 300 overall yards, and the Bulldogs failed to reach 100 yards rushing. The Tigers were 2-0 with a conference win under their belt. But next, the defending national champions would come calling.
Earthquakes, fire, magic, and unbelievable comebacks are all part of the Auburn-LSU series. This year, add a hurricane to the mix. In a week where everyone's attention was scheduled to be on football, it quickly turned to a not-so-nice guy by the name of Ivan.
LSU looked like champions on the game's opening drive. The Tigers drove 80 yards on 14 plays, eating up half the first quarter. A missed extra point would leave LSU's lead at 6-0. It would be the last time they saw the end zone that day. Needing to answer, or at the very least keep the Auburn defense off the field, the Tigers put together a 14-play drive of their own, but it wouldn't be easy.
Campbell has time, fires it to Taylor, caught at the 32, to the 35, down at the 36, first down Auburn.
Auburn would continue the drive into LSU territory, only to be faced with another third down situation.
Campbell fakes the handoff. He's going to throw downfield. He's got a man. Taylor catches it, tries to escape his tackler, can't do it, but he still gets enough for the first down near the 10-yard line. Taylor turning those legs and pulling and trying to get away from Travis Daniels. He couldn't get away, but he had enough to get the first down to the 11.
However, a sack of Jason Campbell would force the Tigers to turn to sophomore place kicker John Vaughn. Auburn had cut the lead in half with 1:37 to go in the first quarter. From this point on, the two defenses would take over. But it was Auburn's defense that delivered more impact plays.
Snap to Randall. Here comes pressure, flushed out of the pocket, ball knocked loose, ball on the ground. Does Auburn have it? Does Auburn have it? They're checking it out. Yes! Tigers recover at the 42 of LSU. And finally, the Auburn defense comes up with a big play.
That's exactly what we talked about going into this. We need a big turnover right now. Auburn comes up with it.
Coming with about 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, the sack by senior defensive end Brett Edens would set the tone. Now it was up to the Auburn offense, and it delivered. With 6:37 to go in the football game, Auburn would get the ball one more time, needing a touchdown and extra point to win.
Sweep to Brown around the left end, 40. Ronnie cuts it upfield to the 50, into the open field, 45, over a man at the 40, inside the 40 to the 39. First down for the Tigers, 20 yards for the Hummer, Ronnie Brown, and the Tigers are in LSU territory.
Boy, and Marcus McNeil, the guy 6'8", 330 pounds, he's pulling around there, and he takes on, and he flattens Corey Webster.
On third down, a pass to Ben Obumanu was too hot to handle. So with 3:07 to go, the Tigers would call timeout to discuss what to do on 4th and 12.
We decided we were going to move him out of the pocket a little bit, try and get him away from the rush. Well, it helped a little bit. I mean, he got a little bit of more time, but they closed on him pretty fast. And the throw he made under that kind of pressure, with that kind of location, you know, was, I mean, a first-round draft pick type play.
Yeah, you know, Coach Boyers knew they were going to bring pressure. We had a route, you know, we was hoping we get the right coverage for it. And, you know, main thing we want to do is try to get outside the pocket so I have an opportunity to get the ball off. The offensive line did a great job of holding them up as long as they possibly could. You know, Courtney did a good job pushing it past the sticks and coming out of it. You know, it's just a great feeling. You know, once we got that 4th and 12, you know, I feel like our whole season started to turn right there.
Still alive, Auburn moved backward on the next two plays, setting up the biggest third down play of the day. The biggest play would require the biggest play call.
Wide receiver set on third down. Campbell in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Auburn! Touchdown Auburn! Touchdown Auburn! Courtney Taylor! Oh my goodness! Wide open! Back of the end zone! 9-9, a minute 14 to go!
The game was tied, but Auburn still had to hit the extra point.
Snap, it's a low one, gets it down, kick is up, kick is no good. Another bad snap by Auburn.
There's a flag.
But an LSU personal foul gave the Tigers another shot.
To raise another bad one. Vaughn gets in it. This one's good. Tigers lead 10-9.
At last, Auburn had its lead with just 1:14 to go. Still plenty of time for LSU to get into field goal range. With just 16 seconds remaining, LSU faced 3rd and 1. The game hung in the balance.
Russell in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz, fired across the middle, tipped up and intercepted. Junior Rosegrave makes the catch on the deflection. Tigers are going to win. 9 seconds to go, and that's your ball game. That is your ball game. Campbell to the knee. And that's going to do it. LSU will not even use their final timeout. The Auburn Tigers have defeated the defending national champion LSU Fighting Tigers 10-9 in one of the more classic defensive struggles in the history of this stadium.
It was fitting that the Auburn defense would put the final nail in LSU's coffin. After LSU's initial 80-yard drive, Auburn gave up only 228 yards of total offense the rest of the game. A statement had been made. A statement to the college football world that this football team was for real. The win vaulted the Tigers into the top 10 and would establish Auburn as the frontrunner in the SEC West.
I knew all week long y'all was focused and ready to play. You know, we had a lot of distractions. That is a hell of a job when you've gone through the week that you've gone through. Give me something. Hey, this win was all about family. And them folks out there, that's a good football team you played today. They played great. You played great. We came out on top. Let me tell you something.
Birthday.
At 7:03 this morning, I turned 50 years old.
Happy birthday!
Hey, it don't get any better than this, guys, right here. I'm going to tell you something. I want to thank all of you. The coaches did a hell of a job. You did a hell of a job. Great job. This one's over with tonight, and we start again tomorrow. Good job.
With the incredible win against LSU still fresh on their minds and a matchup at Tennessee looming on the horizon, the 9th-ranked Auburn Tigers were primed for a letdown as they hosted the Citadel. But this team showed that it was taking this season one game at a time. The Tigers racked up 593 yards of total offense.
Fake the handoff to Williams, and on the reverse, Taylor. He's got the sideline. 30, 25, still on his feet, inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Courtney Taylor.
And the defense would hold the Citadel to just 8 first downs and 169 yards of total offense.
Running back comes in motion. That's Broughton. 5 wide receivers set. Little screen pass to the near side, and then a flea flicker play down the field. It's intercepted at the 50 by Will Herring. Dragged down back in Citadel territory. Justin Woodbury made the throw, and Will Herring had the coverage downfield, and he picks it off. And Auburn gets it right back, just like that. Will Herring with his 5th career interception.
At the end of the day, the Citadel would manage only a field goal, and Auburn coasted to a 33-3 win. Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee, one of the true meccas of college football. Over 107,000 fans crammed the historic stadium on October 2nd for a battle of top 10 teams. Auburn at number 8 and Tennessee at number 10.
To win at a place like this, you got to play as a team. You got to have fun. You guys look like you're ready to go. Let me tell you a couple things now. No stupid penalties because we're on the road. You know they're going to call them. Somebody hits you, just go back to huddle. Keep your poise. Remember, it's going to be a little loud early. They do get quiet once you start playing good. We're going to try to win this toss. If we do, we're going to play defense first. Defense, you got to get ready. You know they're going to run it, but they're going to go downtown early. So you got to make a play. Poise and confidence. I mean, you got to keep it. I mean, you got to keep your poise. Let's go out there and listen. What I told you at the beginning of the week, it ain't going to take a great one. It's going to take a good one. But we'll take a great one. Let's go.
Much of the pregame talk surrounded the University of Tennessee's 2 outstanding freshman quarterbacks. Not many of the experts were talking about the Tigers and their quarterback. From the start, it was obvious the Tigers were out to create some conversation about themselves. On the game's first series, Campbell directed a beautiful drive, a perfect mix of the run and pass, culminating with a vintage Ronnie Brown run. Now the experts and the entire college football world knew that Auburn was here to play. Auburn was here to win. With the score 7-3 with 4:30 to go in the first quarter, the Tigers marched down the field and were knocking on the door once again when apparent disaster struck.
Single wide receivers to each side of the field. Hand off to Brown. Cuts it right. He's down to the 5. Spins and the ball is loose. Down to the 1-yard line, and Tennessee falls on it.
The Volunteers appeared to have dodged a bullet, but just 2 plays later, the momentum shifted back to the orange and blue.
Campbell takes the snap, looks across the middle, caught by Obamano in the end zone. Touchdown Auburn. Tigers are up 13-3.
After the first 15 minutes of play, the Tigers led Tennessee 14-3. With starter Eric Ains struggling, Tennessee head coach Philip Fulmer went to his other freshman phenom, Brent Schaefer. But he didn't find the going any easier.
Drop back, Schaefer unloads as he's hit. Deep downfield, and it's intercepted! Auburn intercepts it at the 31-yard line, Junior Rosegreen.
Just like that, Auburn had a 3-touchdown lead. And the Vols desperately needed to make something happen on offense. But Auburn's no-name bunch simply wasn't going to let that happen.
1st and 10 Tennessee, ball far hash mark from the Auburn 33. Ames throws, and it is tipped, and is it intercepted? Yes, it is! Travis Williams comes up with a pick, the 3rd turnover of the night for the Tigers. Travis Williams.
Right before the half, it was time for Auburn to go into their 2-minute offense.
Campbell drops back to throw. He's got a man in the flat. He goes downfield. Open Taylor, 15, 10. Taylor speeds to the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn!
With the touchdown, Auburn had officially put this one out of reach going into the half. But there was plenty of excitement to come, mainly from the Auburn defense, and in particular, Junior Rosegreen. His interception on Tennessee's first possession of the second half certainly ended all doubt as to who was going to win the football game.
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever been involved in a game where one person was responsible for getting 5 turnovers, but just a phenomenal game for Junior. You know, he's worked so hard his whole career here. You know, that was just that was a game that he deserved.
Forced to put it in the air almost every down, the Vols were picked off twice more by Rosegreen. The final one allowing the Tigers to run out the clock punting away to Tennessee on the final play of the game.
Looking for one running room, he can't get it. Carlos Rogers chases him down at the 44, and that will do it. The Auburn Tigers have come to Knoxville, Tennessee, and manhandled the Volunteers 34-10. Paint these checkerboards orange and blue.
At game's end, people across the country were now talking about the Tigers. The Auburn defense had forced a total of 6 turnovers. The offense racked up 400 yards of total offense. And Jason Campbell was definitely the top quarterback of the day, completing 16 of 23 for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Let me tell you something. It's been a long time since most of these folks that came to the stadium listened to the 4th quarter on the radio on the way home. That's a great job. Y'all give your coaches a hand.
At season's end, Coach Tuberville would look to this game as a key turning point for the Tigers.
We made things go our way, and it was something to watch the first half. That might have been the best half of football I've ever seen, when we jumped out to a big lead. So I think that was the turning point of the season. Our guys got confidence.
Utter domination was the best way to describe Auburn's homecoming win over Louisiana Tech. Auburn scored the game's first 31 points, with the Tiger offense hitting on all cylinders.
1st and goal from the 3. Hand off to Ronnie Brown. Untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn!
And even the defense got in on the scoring.
Right throw near sideline. Intercepted Carlos Rogers, 50. 45-40. Rogers to the 35. Down the sideline. To the 20. To the 15. To the 10. To the 5. He's gone! Touchdown, Auburn!
In the 3rd quarter, Jason Campbell and Silas Daniels made history.
You know, I ran a good route, you know, and the DB built on the route, you know, and I know when I got by him, I know I just looked for the ball, and it was there. You know, I just had to run after the catch, and I did a good job after the catch. No, I wasn't going to let him catch me. Once I got behind him, it was over. He ain't going to catch me.
The play set the record for the longest touchdown pass in Auburn history. And another record-setting performance was accomplished by place kicker John Vaughn, who hit on all 7 PATs. the last one setting an SEC record for consecutive extra points at 200. While Auburn would score a season-high 52 points in the game, the defense was the real story of the day. On top of forcing 3 turnovers, the Tigers' defense was in the backfield all day. Doug Langenfeld, Marquise Gunn, Stanley McGlover, and Quentin Groves all got in on the Auburn sack attack. It was obvious the Tigers were having fun and playing well in all areas, and ended the day with a 52-7 victory, just in time for a return to the SEC. With a chance to go 4-0 in the league and put their SEC Western Division championship hopes in their own hands, 4th-ranked Auburn played host to the Arkansas Razorbacks. Going into the game, offensive coordinator Al Borges continued to claim that fans had yet to see the entire Auburn offensive package, a statement that was proven true on Auburn's 3rd offensive play from scrimmage.
Carnell handed off to Taylor, flip it back to Campbell. He's got a man open downfield. Romashanu at the 40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10. Goodbye! Touchdown! Oh my goodness! Campbell to Romashanu. Touchdown Tigers! 67 yards. A little razzle-dazzle from the Riverboat Gambler.
Well, it was a flea flicker, and, I kind of just loafed into the middle of the field like it was reversed. And then when I saw Courtney pitch back to Jason, he just threw a good pass and just easy touchdown.
The Tiger offense set the tone early. Now, it was the defense's turn. Auburn would add 3 points with a 22-yard field goal from John Vaughn to make it 10-0 Tigers at the 8-minute mark of the first quarter. Once again, Auburn's defense stepped up, stopping the Razorbacks 3 and out. Then, quarterback Jason Campbell took over.
Under center, Campbell. Again, Arkansas may have jumped offside. Free play for Campbell to the end zone. Diving catch! Touchdown, Auburn! 30 yards. Campbell to Taylor.
Just like that, Auburn was up 17-0 with 3.5 minutes still remaining in the first quarter. Auburn's defense continued to frustrate Arkansas quarterback Matt Jones, who could never get on track. And the Tiger offense, led by Ronnie Brown and Carnell Williams, continued their assault.
They just try and power this thing in. Give to Carnell, around the end, into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers! Carnell Williams from 2 yards out.
When the score reached 30-0, the Tigers could let the air out and let the defense do the rest. While the Razorbacks would put 20 on the board before it was over, Tiger victory was never in danger. And most importantly, with the 38-20 win, Auburn was 4-0 in the league and 7-0 overall. The SEC Western Division was theirs to lose. But with this team's dedicated and motivated seniors providing leadership, there was no way the Tigers would let their goal slip away.
This senior group will be remembered not only for what they did of having an 11-0 perfect season, winning an SEC championship, winning 12 games for the first time ever in Auburn history, but also for their academic success in the classroom, taking their careers to the fullest, and there's going to be a lot of successful young men in the future.
They've been in the wars and they've been through a lot in their 4 or 5 years here, and it's just amazing the kind of leadership that I guess evolved as the season went on. And we kind of got to a point there with, after 3 or 4 games where we were really starting to believe in each other and play not only with each other but for each other. And I think a big reason for that was the senior leadership on our team.
Heading into the Kentucky game, the Tigers had outscored its opponents 81-9 in the first quarter, 149-19 in the first half. As it turned out, that trend would continue against the Wildcats.
In the shotgun, Campbell. With time, throws it down the middle. Caught by Aramashadu. Went up in the air and made the catch. Backfield with Slaughter at the fullback. Hand off to Carnell. Around right end. Carnell with blockers to the 5. Carnell angles into the end zone. Stretches out. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn. Carnell Williams with second and third effort. Makes it 13-0. Hand off to Brown. Jumps over man. 10, 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Touchdown, Ronnie Brown.
After one quarter, Auburn was totally in control, leading 21-0. The Wildcats would score the next 10 points of the ball game, but in the third quarter, the Tiger rushing attack would take over.
On 4th down and goal, handoff to Stewart. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn. Carl Stewart from 1 yard out. On 4th and goal, makes it 34-10 with 2:46 to go in the third.
Auburn's defense allowed only 110 yards of total offense and was credited with 7 sacks, led by Quentin Groves, who had 3, along with 2 forced fumbles, the second of which led to Auburn's final score of the game.
3rd down and 10 play. Woodson feeling pressure, steps up, looks, and now hit from behind. Ball loose, picked up, 5, into the end zone. Touchdown for the Tigers. Quentin Groves knocked it loose. Kivas Burnham picked it up and ran it in. And the Auburn Tigers are 8-0 on the year, 5-0 in the SEC.
The 42-10 win set up a chance to clinch the Western Division with a win over the Ole Miss Rebels the following week.
On this eve before Halloween, there are children everywhere donning their favorite costumes in preparation for their trick-or-treat journey. For the Auburn football team, they'll be playing for one big treat: a Western Division championship and a berth in the SEC championship game. Hello again, everybody. War Eagle and happy Halloween. Rod Bramlett with Stan White, Quentin Riggins, and Andy Burcham, broadcasting to you from Vaught Hemingway Stadium on the campus of the University of Mississippi. It's hard to believe, but the Tigers have a chance to clinch the Western Division before the month of November even arrives. A win by the Tigers would almost completely exorcise the demons that still linger from failing to meet expectations a year ago. Almost, but not quite. With Auburn's version of Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers still lurking in the shadows, there is still plenty of work to do.
For the first time in 2004, Auburn failed to score in the first quarter and came close to getting shut out altogether in the first half. But Auburn's defense frustrated Ole Miss as well, taking a bend but not break approach. But late in the second quarter, facing 99 yards between them and the end zone, Auburn's offense finally broke the ice. Quarterback Jason Campbell would take it in from the 1 and give the Tigers the momentum heading into the second half.
Campbell on the reverse. Nope, will keep it and wants to throw downfield. Instead, he goes short, and it's caught. 45-50 to the 45. Carnell Williams to the 40, to the 35, to the 30. Still on his feet, stumbling and rumbling to the 10, to the 5, and out of bounds to the 2. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Hand off to Brown, up the middle, in. Touchdown, Tigers, Ronnie Brown.
Auburn's defense continued to pressure the Ole Miss quarterback. But midway through the third quarter, Ole Miss cut the Tiger lead in half. It would be up to Auburn's defense to swing the momentum back in their favor, and they delivered. Now, the offense would make the most of the opportunity.
fake the toss. Campbell bootlegs it right into the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn! Courtney Taylor, 20-7 Tigers.
The Auburn special teams also came through with big plays, one that set up the Tigers' fourth score of the night. 3 plays later, Jason Campbell snuck it in from 1 yard out to make it 28-14 Auburn, with most of the fourth quarter yet to be played. With the game still very much in the balance, a play by the Auburn defense would turn the tide for good.
I think Stanley McGlover came up behind him and stripped it out. I seen the ball, I came out of pass coverage, and I was about to pick it up, but I thought I seen the blue jersey, so I just got on it, get the offensive ball, and they took it in.
Carnell Williams put the final touches on a Western Division clinching masterpiece. (9-0), Western Division champs, and finally, a week off before the 2 biggest games of the regular season.
Seniors, that one was for you.
Appreciate it, boy.
I'm going to tell you something. We're not into November, and we're already going to the big show. As long as you believe, as long as you keep believing, we're going to keep winning.
Auburn fans were in love with this team, not just because of the wins on the football field. There was something special about the team, but most people didn't know exactly what. On the Auburn Football Review television show following the Ole Miss win, viewers saw something different in the post-game locker room celebration and started to understand a little what made this team tick.
Sometimes you wonder how players are motivated, and this entire group is spiritually motivated. And it starts with Chet Williams. Chet has been our team chaplain for 6 years, played at Auburn, went through some tough times, gave his life to the Lord back in the early 80s, and understands college athletics, and what he's done for this team is remarkable. He's probably the one thing that you can look at that can pinpoint and say, this is one reason why we have been so successful, because he has brought a spiritual leadership to the team. He spread it throughout the team. Players have grasped it, held on to it, and it starts at the top, with Jason Campbell, Ronnie Brown, Carnell Williams. They have Bible study once a week with Chet at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not required. It's something they want to do. And they've all become stronger because of it.
We thank you, Father, for all the wonderful things that you've shown this team, this coaching staff, how you brought us together as one family, unity. And Lord God, we just praise you. And Father, we continue to ask that you be with us as we travel back home. The players go to their different destinations, Father, and we just ask this in Christ's name. Yes. Amen.
Amen. This was a closer team than anyone had known, and it would be more evident than ever 14 days later at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Anyone on the Auburn campus the day the Tigers hosted the Georgia Bulldogs will not soon forget it, and have different ways to describe it. Appropriate adjectives include overwhelming, incredible, and electric. In the Auburn locker room, the atmosphere was intense.
Focus and finish. It ain't going to happen in one half. Focus and finish. They complete a ball on you. They complete a deep ball on you. Short memory. Let's line up and play again. Get behind each other. Play with each other. Hook up. Hear me?
play with each other, hook up.
Those fortunate enough to find tickets were anxious to see if they would witness the Tigers put one more check mark on the team's 2004 to-do list.
When we had won our 9th game going into the Georgia game, I could see it on our players that they knew this was going to be a defining moment for us in the conference. We knew we were already in the SEC championship game, but for us to really put our name in the record books, we had to play well against a good Georgia team. A Georgia team that had only lost one road game, I think, in 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's just an amazing football team. And going into that game, I saw the preparation pick up. I saw the intensity in practice pick up, even though you'd think it couldn't, but knowing that we had to play our best game to win.
This was the game everyone had been pointing to for weeks. Auburn versus Georgia. A packed house and a national television audience focused on these two SEC and National Football powers. Georgia drove the ball to inside Auburn's 20 on the game's first drive, only to miss a field goal and come up empty-handed. Auburn fans breathed a sigh of relief and then rejoiced as Auburn's offense took advantage of the opportunity, breaking open their first possession quickly. Auburn would not put the ball in the air again on their 8-play drive. A steady dose of Carnell Williams is all that was needed. The two teams swapped possessions thanks to some tough, hard-nosed defense. The first real mistake of the game would be made by the Tigers early in the second quarter. Following a Bulldog 15-yard penalty at the end of the play, Georgia had the ball at the Auburn 41 and began moving toward the end zone. On 2nd and 8, David Green decided to go for broke.
They had the momentum. They blocked the punt for us. They had the momentum. We know they was going to try and take a big shot somewhere down the field. I didn't particularly think they was going to go at my side. I thought they was going to go at my tape, but I was ready for whatever they had.
Some would say it was the biggest play of the game. Auburn moved the ball into Georgia territory. Campbell found Ronnie Brown on a crucial 3rd down play. 2 plays later, one for the highlight reel.
Taylor comes in motion now, 3-receiver bunch set. And they'll toss it to Carnell Williams. Wants to throw, and he does. Wide open, mix at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown! Oh, my goodness! Oh, my goodness! Williams to Mix. Touchdown, Tigers!
Oh my gosh, how about Carnell Cadillac Williams? They run the bunch set, bring Courtney Taylor in motion, the toss sweep, but no. Carnell Williams, he runs it outside, he fakes it up, and he tosses a beautiful throw to Anthony Mix.
If the Rodgers interception was the biggest play of the game, this one was the most talked about.
We had run a pitch play the play before that and kind of gauged how they played it and then tried to, make a decision as to whether or not we thought that the halfback pass was a good idea. And like I say, it's when you call it. And that one, fortunately, was dialed at the right time. But he made a great play. I mean, he made a hell of a throw. And Anthony Mix showed great patience to kind of sift his way through the garbage and get to the spot he needed to be.
For the game, Carnell Williams would rack up 227 all-purpose yards. Auburn's defense continued to pressure the Georgia quarterback. The Tigers would get the ball right back. A 32-yard field goal from John Vaughn would give Auburn a 17-0 lead going into halftime. Auburn's defense played stellar in the 3rd quarter, maintaining the shutout. Looking for one more score to ice it, the Tigers' punt return unit gave Auburn's offense the field position it needed.
Right to left. Campbell will throw. throwing right. Brown makes the catch. Touchdown. Tigers. Ronnie Brown. 15 yards.
How about that pass? And how about that catch by number 23 right on Thomas Davis? The free safety, the play action fake. Jason Campbell bought his time, and Ronnie Brown comes out of the backfield into the corner right into the students, and he lofts it over in a beautiful throw and catch right over the senior Thomas Davis for a 3-touchdown lead.
Auburn went on to win 24-6 in perhaps Auburn's most complete performance of the year.
Auburn 24, Georgia 6. Put this in your BCS pipe and smoke it. The Tigers defeat Georgia, dominating the Bulldogs at Jordan-Hare Stadium 24-6.
The Tigers' hopes for a perfect season remained alive. As the Tigers traveled to Bryant-Denny Stadium, the Crimson Tide faithful were hoping for an upset to spoil Auburn's remarkable season. Points would be hard to come by on this wet, dreary day in West Alabama, but heart and courage would be plentiful. Against an Alabama defense ranked among the best in the nation, Auburn's offense would sputter early on, and the Tiger defense would find its back against the wall much of the first half. Yet, they continued to come up with play after play.
Bennington's going to throw, looking, fires into the end zone, and it is intercepted. Tipped around and out to the 3-yard line. Graves tipped it, and Kevin Sears came up with the pick.
Still, Auburn's offense could not solve the puzzle of Alabama's defense. And then a rare mistake by quarterback Jason Campbell gave Alabama fans even more reason to cheer. Despite the odds, the Tiger defense kept Alabama out of the end zone, forcing the Crimson Tide to settle for their second field goal. Amazingly, Auburn trailed only 6-0. But there had to be some adjustments made at halftime.
I went in at halftime and I told the offense this, and I said, guys, you know, we've been fortunate this year. We've jumped on teams and we've been ahead, but that's not what champions are made of. I mean, champions are the guys that when you're losing by 6 points and you really haven't done a thing. I mean, we hadn't done anything. It was awful, other than drive it into the half, and we missed a field goal doing that. So it had not registered on the scoreboard. Champions are made of these situations where you've got to create some momentum and you got to show your character, you got to put them in a back pedal, and you got to come back and win the game. That's what champions are made of, not blowouts.
And the Tigers would indeed show what they were made of. Auburn took the ball 80 yards to start the third quarter.
Campbell hands it off to Carnell Williams. 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown! Tigers! Carnell Williams!
Auburn had its first lead, one they would not relinquish. Feeding off the offense's success, Auburn's defense stopped the Tide again. On their next possession, the Tigers' simplified offensive philosophy continued to pay dividends.
Down to 4 on the play clock. Snap to Campbell. Rolling to his left. Looking. Downfield. Wide open. Taylor. Touchdown! Tigers! Courtney Taylor. 6 points. 32 yards on the touchdown play.
Alabama answered, driving into Auburn territory. Facing 4th and 2, Alabama decided to go for it. Seeing an opportunity to use Alabama's lack of depth to their advantage, the Tigers started to lean on the Crimson Tide with a heavy dose of Ronnie Brown.
Campbell will hand it off to Brown, and he jumps, and he's in! Touchdown, Auburn! 20-6, 11:31 to go.
Alabama would score late in the 4th quarter, but Auburn would recover the onside kick, and the celebrating began.
Here's Campbell. He'll drop back. 1 second, no seconds. Goes to the ground. Ball game over. 21-13 Auburn. 11-0 and 3 in a row over the Alabama Crimson Tide.
A win over your cross-state rival is always special, but when it caps off a perfect regular season, it's hard to beat. These Auburn Tigers, who had clinched the SEC West 3 weeks before the end of the regular season, were poised to become SEC champions for the first time in 15 years. Only the Tennessee Volunteers, a team they had defeated in early October, stood in their way now. The Georgia Dome in Atlanta, Georgia. The goal of every SEC team is to make it here to compete for a title. These Auburn Fighting Soldiers were ready.
Arm in arm, an army of hard fighting soldiers making their way on the football field at the Georgia Dome.
The first play from scrimmage let everyone know this team was ready to play.
First down and 10. Campbell fakes the handoff. He's going to throw downfield. He's got a wide open Taylor at the 35, 40, 45 to midfield. Still on his feet into Tennessee territory and out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
3 plays later, Auburn was on the board, but in an unusual way.
Campbell hands it off to Carnell Williams through the hole, bounces off one tackle, still on his feet, fumbles the football, still loose in the end zone. Bennett falls on it. Touchdown Auburn! Touchdown Auburn! Tigers lead 6-0.
Auburn appeared to be off and running, with the defense getting the ball back quickly for the offense. Then Jason Campbell and Carnell Williams took over.
Toss it back to Williams, short side of the field. Carnell angles for the pylon. He's in! Touchdown! Tigers! Carnell Williams from 5 yards out.
Only halfway through the first quarter, the Tigers were already up by 2 touchdowns and appeared to be on their way to another blowout win. But late in the first quarter, disaster struck. Set up with a short field to work with, Tennessee quickly scored their first touchdown of the game. On the ensuing drive, Auburn answered, riding Jason Campbell's arm and his feet.
Hands it off, no, fakes it to Carnell, back of the end zone, wide open, Taylor, touchdown, Tigers!
Auburn was back up by 2 touchdowns and a chance to go up by more going into halftime. But on 1st and 10 from the 11, the Volunteers came up with a momentum-changing play heading into halftime. After stopping Tennessee on their first possession of the second half, Auburn would give it back to the Volunteers for the second time of the game, deep in Tiger territory.
Campbell takes the snap, will run the draw play. He's up ahead of the 20, fumbles the football, and Tennessee has it.
Tennessee scored on 3rd and goal to cut the Auburn lead to 21-14. And then tied things up with an impressive 80-yard touchdown run. With the momentum fully back with Tennessee, the Auburn offense needed to respond, and they did.
Campbell to throw on 1st down. He's going to go deep. Aroma Shadou's got it at the 5, in the end zone. Touchdown, Auburn! Aroma Shadou! 53 yards. Auburn back on top.
Auburn had regained the lead, 28-21, with just 15 minutes standing between them and their first SEC title in 15 years. John Vaughn added 3 points to put the Auburn lead back to 10. But the Volunteers, refusing to quit, cut the Auburn lead back to a field goal, 31-28. It appeared the Volunteers had taken the momentum back. All they had to do was stop Auburn's offense. But that's easier said than done.
2nd down. Campbell takes the snap. Another flag on the play. Campbell's going to go deep for Obamanu. Near sideline. It's caught. He's in. Touchdown, Auburn. 43 yards.
The touchdown gave Auburn a 38-28 lead. All the Tigers would need to win their 12th game of the season and become the 2004 Southeastern Conference champions.
This one's for the seniors. This is special, guys. You know, in all the years and all the seasons, Auburn's played football. Auburn's never won 12 games in a year. You made the record books. These young guys enter hope to break it someday.
Oh, yeah.
We will. Oh, yeah. At least tied. But listen up. You set the precedent. It started in August. We didn't know how good we were, but we knew we had good players. Knew we had coaches that were going to work hard. I'm proud of every one of you. Those fans out there are proud of you. Because when you go through adversity like you've gone through and overcome it, you've accomplished something. It's going to make a better person out of you. You look at it, you'll look back someday. You'll look back someday and you'll thank the good Lord for what He gave you this year. Because I'm telling you, been in this business 30 years. It don't get any better than this. I'm proud of every one of you. You've done a tremendous job for Auburn. You've done a tremendous job for the SEC. You've done a tremendous job for college football, because what you stand for is what the game's all about. And you know, it's tough to get words, put words together of what this all means. And it'll hit you one day. You'll look back and go, how in the world did we do that? You did it because you had class and you had character and you believed in each other. I want to thank all of you, especially the seniors. You guys did a great job. We couldn't have done it without you, obviously, with the leadership. As I've been telling the media, we just been driving the bus and watching you guys play and lead, because you've done a super job. One guy I really want to thank, because he's put this all together, Brother Chet.
Yeah. God bless you, Brother Chet.
We got our president, Dr. Richardson. You like to say a couple words, just a couple words to the guys? Right there would be fine.
Right there is fine. Well, let me just say on behalf of Auburn University, I think the coach has just indicated, Coach Tubble has, we've never won 12 in a row, but I've also been informed there's no Auburn team that's ever beaten LSU, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama in one season. So that's another record I think you ought to.
On to the leader of our state, Governor Riley, would you say just a couple words?
Yeah, Coach, thank you. Fellas, I am so proud of you. All the people in Alabama are proud of you. Nothing means much without having to fight for it. And you fought your heart out tonight. And I'm telling you guys, I don't care what anybody says. The best coach in the United States is Tommy Tuberville, and the best team in the country is Auburn University.
Mike's live. Got a couple of presentations.
Jason. First one I've got
is for the most valuable player today's game. And it goes to a man, and I was trying to find just the right word, and it goes to a man of dignity, courage, and quiet strength. So I think you have, tell me who it is.
Deserve that, man. Take it easy, take it easy, take it easy. I want a question. Hey, man. Good job, man.
We love you, dog.
We love you, man. Good job.
That's my roommate.
It's all right, man. It's all right,
First of all, I just want to give glory to God.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, you couldn't ask for a better group of players and coaching staff to play with in the nation. You know, through everything we've been through, we stay together. You know, God always said, you know, saying through the tough times, you know, good things in the future. You know, God, you stuck together, man, play hard. This is a team award, and I just want to say thank you. And Coach Borges, you know, coming in this year and the job he's done with me, and I just want to say appreciate you, Coach. I love you, and I love all the coaches, baby. All my heart.
Listen up. Gentlemen, the next award is too heavy for me to pick up. But it goes, I watched the video. You folks have your video before the game. And it aptly describes this great, great football team. It talks about leadership, attitude, courage, faith, all the things that have made this one of the greatest football teams in the history of the Southeastern Conference. No one in a long time has done what you did. And I just want to say one thing. Everybody's talking about the BCS. That's tomorrow. Today is your day. You've earned it. You have done something with your lives that people can't do. It's forever etched in your heart and in your brain and in your soul. Enjoy it. Don't let anybody talk to you about orange bowls, sugar bowls, any bowls. Take this in, enjoy it, congratulations, and you've done all of us proud. Thank you very much. Champions, this is your trophy.
I get the